Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy Stumped back for another OPTC video, and in today's video, we're hopping into the 10-star Garps challenges with a mono DEX team. And as you guys know, the king of Garps challenges is the boy, legend Kaido. So, we have been doing these like one color teams to beat all the Garp challenges, and today we're hopping in with DEX, and Kaido is just by far the best leader to bring to these 10-star Garp challenges, mainly because there is no normal attacks, only bar that little part in the WhiteBeard Pirates. But today we are taking Kaido in, and this is what the team looks like. So it is led by our boy Kaido. We do have the Jack support, as Jack gives the very nice stat boost to Kaido. We do have Nami and Sanji on this team, the treasure map unit, the free-to-play treasure map unit. They're obviously god tier for the Enel event. And with them, we're actually using the Hatchan support. Now, the reason we're using the Hatchan support, and we don't actually really use it that much, but it just gives us healing. The big upside to getting the healing is so we can actually survive on the Marco and Vista stage, as that's the part where we get normal attacks only, and it's very hard to sort of just wipe that stage with the double Kaido. So we do have that there in case we need it, but we didn't use it that much. Next, we've got the free-to-play Neo Neptune. He's absolutely amazing at removing attack down, but he also has the crewmate ability that he reduces his own special cooldown by 1 turn every time someone uses a special. So that's very, very handy. Plus, he can actually use the support of Shirahoshi. Shira removes paralysis and attack down for 2 turns when inflicted, which is very, very handy, especially for the Dofi event where there's paralysis. Next, we've got Vivi and Rebecca. They're just great at giving us healing. Their switch ability for the 2.5 times chain lock is just incredible. They can give matching orbs as Kaido is striker, and yeah, they just do a lot. Removes damage reduction and defense up as well, which is very, very good. Very, very handy, especially for the WhiteBeard fight as well. Finally, we actually have the Clash Pika, the free-to-play Pika. This guy's special is actually really interesting and actually helps out a lot against WhiteBeard, as when you actually use your special, you become captain for three turns, and when he's captain, he reduces all damage by 70%. So he works out really, really well when we're stalling out the normal attacks only. But other than that, he doesn't really see too much of an impact on the team. Other supports we have is this Bardo. I love using this Bardo whenever I can. All of the Garp challenges at some point give attack up, so using Bardo actually works really, really well, as he can reduce the portion of damage and heal us as well. Finally, we actually are using the Moby Dick, as we do get a little bit of extra HP with Moby Dick, and because we can switch with with Vivi and Rebecca, we can get healing back every single turn. So that's the team. Enough about that. Let's hop into the runs and let's get it done. Mono DEX, one team versus all the 10-star Garp challenges. Alright, so we're starting over here on Heavenly Demon 1. I'm basically just going to move from left to right. But out of all of the challenges, I actually think that Dofi 1 is the hardest out of all of the regular Garps challenges. But for Kaido, it's actually fairly easy, and isn't too tricky at all. So on the second turn, we're going to come up against the Vacuum Cleaner Lady Chick, and what we're actually going to do is we're just going to let Kaido's end of turn damage do the work for us. Now, we are despaired for 4 turns, which can get a little bit annoying, but because Kaido's special activates at the start of the turn, we still do have some sort of end of turn damage. Now, after turn 1, the Vacuum Cleaner Lady will special bind us, but with the switch ability of our Vivi Rebecca, we can just sort of stay alive with extra healing, the end of turn, extra 2,000 end of turn healing, and then after the third turn, we can take her out fairly simply. And then because we only have the 2 turns left of Gloom, we can actually just remove that by the next turn. This way, we just don't have to worry about using our Neptune special. But Neptune does have the ability to get cooldowns every time that you use a special again. But unfortunately, we can't actually get Neptune's special back, even if we just proc all of our specials, without keeping in mind that we do need our specials for the final stage. So on stage 3 against Rebecca, she's going to paralyze us for 3 turns, and she puts up 3 turns of defense up. But the thing with Rebecca is she's actually a quick unit, which means Kaido's end of turn damage just does so much damage that we don't even have to worry about that defense up. Make sure you are switching with Vivi and Rebecca every single turn, as they do give the healing back, and the Moby Dick ship giving the extra HP is great, but because we have that extra HP, we have to start with half of it. So with the switchability of Vivi Rebecca giving us 3,000 every single turn, it just keeps us at a nice healthy HP pool, as this team has 60,000 HP, which is just really, really good for a Kaido team. And that way we can actually just tank shots if we need to throughout the runs for not only the Dofi challenge, but also the Revolutionary Army, as well as the Whitebeard and the Enel challenge. So on the next stage, when we come up against Bardo, he's also going to give us another Despair, very similar to the Vacuum Cleaner chick. So we can use the Neptune special here, so we can actually remove the Despair that Bardo inflicts. Bardo has a barrier as well, which means that we have to get rid of that before Kaido can do his end of turn damage. So he has a 20 hit barrier, so just make sure you break that. You don't even really have to hit your perfects if you don't want to, if you are worried about like not having enough hits. But with the orb buff that Neptune actually provides as well, we can do a little bit of damage with Kaido, as he is a striker as well. End of turn damage will just finish off Bardo, and that way you can move into the next stage against Treble and his lackeys. Against Treble and his lackeys, he's going to give us 3 turns of paralysis, and the guys in the back are basically going to hit us very, very hard if we don't kill them. But with Kaido, it makes life very, very easy, as this stage is normally very, very tricky for most other units, as Treble actually locks onto him. But with Kaido's end of turn damage just blowing everyone away, it makes life very, very easy. We don't have a way to get rid of that paralysis, unfortunately, so we sort of just have to cop it. But the paralysis doesn't stop the end of turn damage, and we can actually take... Well, Treble has enough HP to actually take a shot from Kaido, and that way the second Kaido shot, when it kills Treble, it can move into the final stage against Dofi, and the paralysis will be gone then. So onto the final stage against Dofi and a bunch of his sort of companions. The beautiful thing about Kaido, obviously, is that he just literally destroys everyone except for the 2 units that are next to Dofi. So when you get into the Dofi stage, he does wipe basically all your buffs. But this is where we can just use our Kaido specials to get that back, as well as doing a 20% HP cut to basically everyone. As mentioned at the start of the video, there is attack up in every single one of these events, and as you'll see with the Dofi, it's actually at the end. So the Bardo support procs basically at the perfect time for us for this particular run, or this particular Garp challenge, I should say, sorry, as we can actually utilize that threshold if we need to from these 2 units in the back next to Dofi, as they don't actually have a lot of HP, they have a lot of defense, so we do want to make sure that we do take them out on the second turn. So basically, once we've just wiped everyone, we can use I don't think I use my Kaido. Do I even use my Kaido specials? I don't even think I do. But you can just basically use your Kaido specials for the HP cut, and then finish it off basically whenever you like, as Kaido's end of turn damage is basically he literally just does all the work for you with this Dofi fight. So the thing with Kaido is there's not much explanation that needs to be done. You basically just watch him do the work, and you just jump on his back for the ride, I guess. So for the next Garp challenge, we are going to take on Revolutionary Army 1. Now, Revolutionary Army 1 is, in my opinion, probably the easiest of the Garp challenges. And especially with someone like Kaido running around, makes life very, very easy. So on stage 2 of the Revolutionary Army 1, we come up against Kuma, who puts up 2 turns of a massive defense up. We can just remove that with our VV Rebecca very, very easily, as they're going to remove all turns of defense up and just damage reduction with their amazing special ability. Make sure you do switch with them first, though, as we do want to get our hands on that little bit of juicy healing. As mentioned in the first run, we do have to make sure that we can get our HP up nice and high, utilizing their switch ability, as we start with half of our HP from the Moby Dick ship. It's definitely worth the trade-off, the Moby Dick, especially for the WhiteBeard fight, as I think we actually do take a shot from Ace, but we'll talk about that when we get there. On the next stage, when we come up against Robin and her like fodder chicks, they're actually going to give us 5 turns of bind and give us a full board of bomb orbs. Now, normally you lose your captain ability when you are binded, but with Kaido, he actually procs his special, so you still get the special damage from Kaido, which is so much damage to not only kill all of the girls around the outside, but also do a lot of damage to Robin in the middle. Once we basically killed all them, we don't have to worry too much, as Kaido is just literally going to kill her on the next turn, and then the bind is going to go away. So we don't even have to worry about bringing someone to get rid of that bind. It just works very, very well having Kaido as captain, and that's why Kaido is an absolute king for these Garp challenges. On to the next fight against Ivankov and Inuyasuma. They're actually going to blow away one of our middle units, which is a little bit annoying, but it's not that drastic, as we don't actually need either of them for this particular team, as like all the stages before, Kaido's just going to blow everyone away with his end of turn damage. The best thing about utilizing Kaido as a captain is we just don't have to worry about bringing characters to get around those utility, as well as don't even worry about attacking for most of the run as well. Without normal attacks only, like, Kaido just shows that he's just an absolute monster, and he just clears content with absolute ease. So on the next stage against Morley and Bellobetti, this is where they give the attack up for this particular fight. So we are going to get the effect of that Bardo support, which is great because we still need a lot of healing from the Moby Dick. So Bardo can actually give us that 8,000 healing, and we're always going to see an impact from that. Then Kaido's just basically going to kill Bellobetti, and the threshold's not even going to matter. But just basically utilizing that healing that Bardo can provide is very, very handy, purely for the Revolutionary Army 1 run. So just over time, we're just going to let Kaido take out Morley here, and then we can move on to the next stage against Lindbergh and Carousel. Carousel and Lindbergh are going to give us full border block orbs and bind our right hand side. Now Carousel is a quick unit, which means that he's just going to go absolutely bye-bye. And then Lindbergh is a Dex unit, which means that we don't have to worry about not having type advantage or the damage from Kaido not being enough, as one of our Kaidos is binded. So we're actually still getting 2 of the shots from Kaido, which is just well enough damage to actually kill Lindbergh, or sorry, to kill Carousel and then kill Lindbergh on the next turn. Or kill both of them on the first turn. Either way, the bind's gone by the time we move into the final stage against Revolutionary Army. Now, against Revolutionary Army, they do have a little a minion that makes Dex characters have non-color affinity. So it just means that they're not hitting for half damage, which is very, very handy for us, as we are running a mono Dex team. Now, we do get a 50% HP cut here, which is very, very annoying, as we've just worked so hard to get all of our HP back that Moby Dick strips at the very, very beginning. But what we're going to do here is we're actually just going to pass a turn with Sabo Koala, as if you actually do too much damage against them, they do like a giant death hit. Now, we actually can easily tank a damage purely from the Moby Dick itself, as the Moby Dick's given us that much higher HP pool. So then on the second turn, we can actually take them out with the HP cuts of Kaido, and then let the Kaido end of turn damage do the rest of the work. Now, the downside to this team is we can't actually get around that burn, and we definitely cannot do enough damage, as we are a mono Dex team, even if without the color affinity or the nerfing of color affinity on this stage. But just like having that extra HP made this a lot easier, as I actually found Dex to be one of the harder ones to get this done, the whole one team all colors, compared to Int, Psi, and Strength, which were just very, very easy. I built the team and just did it first go, where Dex and Quick, I had to do like a little bit of tweaking. Dex, I actually had to like re-record this and the Dofi run, as the team I originally built, when it got to the WhiteBeard stage, I just didn't have that much HP to actually take them out. So on the res for Sabo Koala, they basically just make every color unmatching. But what we can actually do here is just let Kaido's end of turn damage finish them off. Easy peasy, no worries whatsoever. Alright, so moving on to the next Garp's challenge, we come up against the WhiteBeard Pirates. So against the WhiteBeard Pirates on stage 2, we are going to get a HP cut against the Watermelon Head Man, but he is also going to give us 3 turns of attack down. So this is where the support of Shirahoshi is quite handy, as she can remove 2 of those turns. And then that way we can just do our normal taps, let Kaido's end of turn damage do the rest, and move into the next stage without any attack down whatsoever. Kaido's end of turn damage is just absurd. It's so much damage. It just makes these challenges just an absolute cakewalk. Especially if you are optimizing the Kaido team for each fight. It works so damn well. On to the next fight, we come up against Higuma, Atmos, and the Chainball guy. They're going to special bind our entire crew for 3 turns. And if you want to, you can use the Sanji Nami special to actually get around that. But as you guys saw in the beginning, I do have the Hachan support on them. So I did really want to hang on to that in case I needed the healing later on down the track. But if you do use it there, I don't think it matters too much. But I guess we'll sort of find out towards the end of the run. But that way you can still utilize those meat orbs anyway, because we don't have max HP. But with onto the next stage against Speed, Giru, Iso, and Fossa, they actually give themselves an attacker, which means that the Bardo support's going to trigger, give us the healing, and that's our answer to that question that we were just thinking about. We'd probably hang on to the Nami and Sanji special, as we don't actually need anyone else's specials for 3 turns, and we can just basically rely on their special to give the meat orbs if we need that healing later on. On to stage 5 now. This is where things get a little bit finicky for this particular run. Well, this team against this particular piece of content, I should say. Jozu gives himself 3 turns of defense up and 3 turns of damage reduction. We can actually remove that with our Vivi Rebecca special. But the big downside to Jozu, not Jozu himself, is that when he actually dies, he gives us 3 turns of normal attack only. Now, the downside to using Kaido in normal attack only means that his end of turn damage becomes non-existent, as you guys will see moving to the next stage against Marco and Vista. The HP cut is reduced to 1 instead of being at the normal 20% HP cut, and it means that trying to take out Marco and Vista is going to be a little bit tricky. But this is where we have the special of Pika. Pika can become our captain for 3 turns, and means he's going to be taking 70% less HP, and having the WhiteBeard himself utilizing the Moby Dick for that extra HP pool just means that we can actually stay alive against Marco and Vista, as they do hit very, very hard. Now, after 3 turns, Marco is actually going to give us paralysis once again, which is fairly annoying, as we can't actually remove any of that, and we are going to be stuck with that moving into the final stage against WhiteBeard and Ace, and that's why bringing the Moby Dick was absolutely essential, just to give us that major HP buff, I should say. Cotton Candies in this team as well. I think everyone has Cotton Candies except for Pika and Nami Sanji. So having that extra HP does help us out quite a bit. But once the normal attack only is gone, we are basically hunky-dory to move on to the next stage, as Kaido is just going to wipe the floor. Make sure that every single turn you are switching with your Vivi Rebecca, because that extra 2,000 healing goes a very, very long way, especially with your auto heal sockets. Getting 3,000 healing is just absolutely crucial, especially when you have Pika as your captain, and to move into the final stage to tank a shot from Ace. Moving into the final stage, when we do come up against Ace and WhiteBeard, they are going to special slot bind our top and bottom row, and they remove our buffs. So we do want to actually get our Kaido special back once again. So we are going to drop his special, I dropped one of their specials. That way you can remove 20% of the HP and still get 3 of the end of turn blasts. Now, we are definitely going to take out WhiteBeard the first turn, but taking out Ace isn't exactly that easy. You don't want Ace to take a knee. That's why I didn't use 2 of the Kaido specials to reduce the full 20% HP twice. But you could also use the Sanji and Nami special as well on the turn before, if you wanted to get that extra healing and just take your chances with it by eating some recovery orbs as well. With the special of Neptune as well, we can set all the defense to 0. It means that we do a lot more damage to Ace, as well as getting a orb boost for our strikers and powerhouses. But as you guys can see there, just utilizing that into turn damage once again is very, very handy, and that hatch end support can come in clutch just with that a little bit of extra healing on the final stage to tank a shot from Ace. So on to the final fight now. We come up against Eneru, the Garp challenge Eneru. And once again, Kaido just has an absolute field day for this particular piece of content, as there are completely normal attacks only, making it very easy for Kaido to wipe the floor with every single one of these stages. On stage 3 against Tweedledee and Tweedledum, they give us 2 turns of burn, and they have a 3-hit great barrier. So we do want to break that barrier to let Kaido just start going through their HP pool very, very quickly, so we can just make our way through this very, very fast. Kaido just... the end of turn damage, I cannot stress enough how handy it is for Garp challenges. Even utilizing one of this guy and then optimizing the team for each run, the end of turn damage with just 2 of those blast breaths that you see there is usually enough to take out most of these fights. On to the next stage against Wiper and 2 of his Skypiea lackeys. We can try and just do as much damage as we possibly can to the red units to let Kaido do all the extra heavy lifting. But this is the particular stage of the run where they give attack up, and that's where we can get our boy Bardo to click in, give us some healing as the Moby Dick has taken away half our HP, as well as tank a shot there if we do get the extra, the 1-turn cooldown. Oh, sorry, no, Wiper can't even get a 1-turn cooldown, never mind. The threshold doesn't mean too much. We just want the healing from the Bardo from that particular stage. So on to the next stage against the dude on the ball and not Pierre. No idea what their names are, and I'm not going to lie, I'm probably never going to remember them. But they are going to re-roll our specials back by 2 turns, but to us, doesn't even matter, as we are just going to let Kaido just blast his way through their HP. The dude on the ball does have 4 turns of threshold, but to Kaido, the threshold don't even matter. He's just like, nah boy, I'ma clap you. Now, for some reason, I actually use Pika's special here. Not 100% sure why I did that. Maybe actually when I thought I was doing this run, I thought that maybe the end of turn damage wouldn't be enough to kill the guy on the ball. But now that I'm looking at it, looking back, I'm thinking like, why the hell did I... Oh, actually, I remember I was on the no-no juice with the boys. Apologies about that. But using the pigs for their special there just does not matter one bit. It does... Well, actually, it does kind of help moving into this stage against Gidatsu and Om, I guess, because they do have the HP cut and the end of turn damage. But the end of, like, as you guys can see here, just utilizing one Kaido is usually just plenty of damage to just kill everyone. But utilizing the Pika special there was just not even a little bit required. I think I just sort of space cadetted there a little bit and let the alcohol take over. But either way, it did manage to do it regardless. But a little bit of fun, I guess. So onto the final stage against Enel now. This is where things get a little bit finicky. He's going to wipe all of our buffs, including our end of turn damage and our threshold. And then he's going to special bind us. But this is where Sanji and Nami are finally coming to play, as they have literally done nothing for the whole video until this particular point, as they're just here to remove the stun and to remove the special bind. Now, because we do have Hatch in there, we do actually give the adjacent and themselves recovery orbs, so we can actually eat them if we want to, but it's not that big of a deal. We're going to use our Kaido special for the HP cut, and then we're just going to try and do as much damage as we can with our one orb on our Vivi Rebecca. But as you can see, it doesn't even break the barrier, so doesn't matter too much. But we just do want to get a little bit of damage with Kaido's end of turn. What we can actually do on the second turn, when Enel puts up his damage reduction and defense up, this is where we can actually use our Vivi Rebecca special to remove that. Then we can use our Neptune special to give ourselves an orb boost. And with that, it's going to be GG for our boy Enel. So there you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to go down there and belt that like button. And if you are new to the channel, consider hitting that big red subscribe button as well. But guys, wherever you are in this beautiful world, make sure to enjoy the rest of your day. As always, I thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Lates!